Welcome back to the channel Wisdom of Stoicism. Have you ever helped someone and later wondered, why did I even bother? You gave them advice, but they ignored it. You lent them money, but they never paid you back. You stood by them in tough times, but when you needed help, they were nowhere to be found. Sound familiar? The truth is, not everyone deserves your help. Some people take advantage of kindness. Some refuse to change no matter how much you do for them. And some will drain your energy, leaving you exhausted, frustrated, and questioning yourself. The Stoics understood this. They believed in helping others, but only those who actually want to be helped. That's why today, we're exposing 10 types of people you should never help. Because protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's wise. And if you don't learn to say no to the wrong people, you'll have nothing left for the right ones. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear could save you from years of stress, regret, and wasted time. Let's begin. Type 1. The perpetual victim. Have you ever met someone who always seems to have a problem? No matter what happens, life is always unfair to them. They're always complaining, always suffering, and no matter how much advice or help you give, nothing ever changes. This is the perpetual victim. At first, you feel bad for them. Maybe you even try to help. You listen to their problems, you give them advice, you offer solutions. But over time, you start to notice something. They don't actually want help. They don't want solutions. They just want sympathy. They want someone to listen while they complain. They want someone to feel sorry for them. They want to stay in the same cycle of misery because, for them, being a victim is easier than taking responsibility. And here's the harsh truth. You cannot help someone who refuses to help themselves. Think about it. If someone keeps falling into the same hole over and over again, at some point you have to realize they're not falling. They're jumping. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who always struggled with money. Every month, he would call his best friend, asking for a loan. "I just need help this one time, I promise." His friend, being a kind and generous person, helped him again and again. But nothing changed. The man still made bad financial choices. He still wasted his money. And every month, he came back with the same excuse. One day, his friend finally told him the truth. "I'm not giving you another dollar. Because it's not that you don't have money. It's that you don't know how to manage it." Guess what happened? The man got angry. He called his friend selfish. He played the victim, and instead of fixing his problem, he went to someone else for help. This is what perpetual victims do. They don't want to take control of their lives. They just want someone to keep saving them. And if you're not careful, you'll waste your time, your energy, and your peace trying to help someone who doesn't even want to be helped. The Stoics warned us about this. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters." In other words, life will always be unfair. Problems will always come, but strong people take action. Weak people just complain. So here's the rule. Help those who want to help themselves. But do not waste your energy on those who refuse to grow. Because the more you give to a perpetual victim, the more they will take. And in the end, you won't be helping them. You'll just be carrying their burden for them. So the next time someone comes to you with the same problem they refuse to fix, ask yourself, am I really helping? Or am I just enabling them? Because real wisdom is knowing when to walk away. Type 2. The manipulator. Have you ever felt like someone was playing you like a puppet? Like no matter what you do, they always find a way to twist things in their favor? That's the manipulator. This is the person who never asks for help directly. Instead, they guilt-trip you, flatter you, or create a sense of obligation. They make it seem like if you don't help them, you're a bad person. And before you know it, you're doing things you never wanted to do. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named Jake. Jake had a coworker, Tom, who always found a way to dump his work on him. But Tom never asked directly. Instead, he would say things like, "Man, I've been feeling so sick lately. I don't know how I'm going to finish this report. I really admire how hardworking you are. Jake, you always do things so much better than I do." Jake, being a kind person, felt bad. He thought, well, if I don't help, Tom will struggle. And he did compliment me after all. So Jake ended up doing Tom's work over and over again. Tom never had to ask. He simply played the right emotional notes to get what he wanted. And that's how manipulators operate. They use three main tactics. Guilt tripping. They make you feel bad for saying no. They'll say things like, wow, I thought we were friends. Or, I would do this for you if the situation was reversed. Flattery. They boost your ego so you don't even realize you're being used. They'll say, you're so much smarter than me. Or you always know what to do. And suddenly you feel responsible for fixing their problems. Playing the victim. They act helpless so you step in. They'll say things like, I just don't know how to do this. Or, nobody ever helps me. And because you don't want to be like everyone else, you help. The problem is, manipulators don't actually need help. They need control. They get what they want by making others feel responsible for their problems. So how do you deal with them? First, recognize the pattern. If someone always makes you feel guilty, overpraises you before asking for something, or constantly acts like a victim, step back. Ask yourself, do they really need my help? Or are they just making me feel like I have no choice? Second, set firm boundaries. The best way to stop a manipulator is to simply say no. And don't explain yourself too much. The more you explain, the more they twist your words. Keep it short. I can't help with that. That's it. No excuses, no justifications. Lastly, remember what Marcus Aurelius said. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You are not responsible for fixing people who manipulate you. You are responsible for protecting your peace. So the next time someone tries to guilt trip you into doing something, ask yourself, is this real help, or am I being played? Type 3. The chronic liar. You've probably met one of these people before, the chronic liar. They seem to twist everything, changing the facts to suit their needs. At first, it might seem like harmless exaggeration, but over time, it becomes clear. They can't tell the truth. And no matter how many times they promise to stop lying, they never do. Think about the last time you were in a situation where someone lied to you. Maybe it was something small, like them claiming they had already completed a task when you knew it wasn't true. Or perhaps it was something bigger, like a friend telling you one thing, only to contradict themselves the next time you spoke. The feeling of being lied to is a deep one, right? It makes you question everything they say after that. Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It is not the things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." What he meant was that we can't always control the actions of others, but we can control how we react to them. With chronic liars, your reaction should be one of caution. These people will wear you down emotionally, and if you're not careful, you'll find yourself questioning your own reality. Lying is a sign of insecurity. A person who lies constantly does it to protect their image or to avoid facing the consequences of their actions. In their mind, lying is the easy way out. But here's the thing, helping someone who lies, especially repeatedly, can be more harmful than it seems. It might feel like you're doing them a favor by covering up for them or giving them another chance, but all you're really doing is enabling their behavior. The more you cover for a liar, the more they think it's okay to lie to you again and again. Imagine this scenario. A close friend asks for help, again, but this time, you notice they're lying about their situation. Maybe they claim they need money for something important, but you overhear them talking about spending it on something unnecessary. The guilt you feel when you don't want to help is real, but don't let that guilt push you into making a decision you'll regret. Remember, helping someone who lies is not a favor to them, it's a disservice to both of you. Stoic wisdom teaches us to focus on what's within our control. And one thing that's definitely within your control is choosing who you help and trust. You don't owe liars anything. In fact, offering your help might even be teaching them that their dishonest behavior is acceptable. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most respected Stoic philosophers, once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. What this means is that you shouldn't waste your time trying to fix people who refuse to change. They'll keep lying, and you'll keep hurting yourself by trying to help them. So, the next time a chronic liar comes to you for help, ask yourself, am I helping them, or am I enabling their lies? If the answer is the latter, it's time to walk away. Stoicism teaches us to protect our peace and not to let others drag us into their chaos. A liar's world is a world of uncertainty, and you don't need to be a part of that. Ultimately, the Stoics believe that by surrounding ourselves with people who align with our values, we can live a peaceful and virtuous life. Helping someone who constantly lies doesn't align with those values. So don't feel bad for saying no. The truth is, you're doing both of you a favor by not getting caught in their web of deceit. Type 4. The ungrateful one. Have you ever helped someone who just didn't appreciate it? You go out of your way, give your time, your resources, your energy, but all you get in return is silence or worse, disrespect. This is the type of person that you should be cautious about helping. These are the people who always take but never give back. They may thank you in words, but their actions don't reflect any real gratitude. Imagine this. You lend a friend money when they're in need, you give them your support, your best advice, and your encouragement, but when it's time for them to return the favor or even just show appreciation, they act like you owe them. Or worse, they act like your help wasn't even needed. They take advantage of your kindness, expecting it to always be there. The Stoics, like Seneca, understood this dynamic perfectly. He warned us not to become slaves to others' needs. True gratitude is shown in actions, not just words, he said. It's easy for someone to say thank you, but true appreciation shows in their behavior. If they're truly grateful, they'll show it not just when they need something, but always. The problem with ungrateful people is that no matter how much you help them, it's never enough. You give them your time, your energy, or even financial support, but it's not recognized. They take and take, but they don't seem to care about what you've done for them. Over time, this can leave you feeling empty, drained, and unappreciated. It can create a toxic cycle where you feel like you're being used without any real return. Think about a situation you've been in where you've helped someone, only to have them ignore or dismiss your effort. Maybe they don't thank you. Maybe they make it seem like your help wasn't important. That's a classic sign of an ungrateful person. Feels like a punch to the gut, doesn't it? You were generous and they just took it for granted. The Stoics advise us to avoid people like this because they can drain us mentally and emotionally. They never learn to be self-sufficient or truly grateful for what they have. Instead, they become dependent on the kindness of others, using it to get by without ever giving back. This creates a one-sided relationship where you're always giving and they're always taking. So what should you do? First, recognize when someone's not truly grateful for your help. When you start to notice these patterns, when your generosity is being taken for granted, cut back. Don't allow them to keep feeding off your energy. You can help, but if they show no real appreciation or effort to return the favor in any meaningful way, it might be time to set boundaries. You're not doing yourself any favors by constantly helping someone who doesn't value you. In fact, you're hurting yourself. You're sacrificing your time, energy, and resources for someone who doesn't recognize the effort you're making. The Stoics believed in focusing on what's truly important, and surrounding yourself with people who appreciate and respect you is a big part of that. So, next time you're about to help someone, ask yourself, is this person truly appreciative? Are they someone who will value my help? Or am I just feeding their sense of entitlement? The Stoics teach us that by being mindful of these relationships, we can preserve our energy and give our help to those who truly deserve it. Remember, helping others is a good thing, but don't let it be an excuse to let yourself be taken for granted. Your time and energy are valuable. Use them wisely. Type 5. The entitled taker. There's a certain type of person who believes the world owes them something, no matter what they do or don't do. This is the entitled taker. They don't ask for help, they demand it. And what's worse, they expect it without ever offering anything in return. Now think about it. Have you ever helped someone only to realize that they didn't even say thank you? They didn't even show the smallest bit of appreciation? It's frustrating, right? But here's the thing, the entitled taker never sees it as a favor. To them, it's simply their right. They believe that because they exist, others should constantly be giving to them. Whether it's money, time, advice, or emotional energy, they expect you to hand it over, no questions asked. But why is this such a problem? Why shouldn't we help them? Well, helping these types of people can quickly turn into a toxic relationship. They take and take without ever considering what you might need in return. In fact, they might even act annoyed if you ask them for anything in return. It's like you're doing them a favor just by existing in their world. The Stoics have a lot to say about this. Marcus Aurelius, a man who ruled an empire but still managed to live with wisdom and humility, once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." In other words, it's not about what others think you should do, but about how you live according to your values. Helping an entitled taker goes against that because it drags you into their world of selfishness and greed. You're constantly giving to someone who doesn't appreciate it, and that drains your energy, emotionally, mentally, and even physically. You may think that by helping them, you're doing a good thing, right? But what happens in the long term? They keep coming back expecting more. Their sense of entitlement grows, and yours starts to shrink. The more you give, the less they care. And here's the hard truth, by helping them, you're not doing them any favors. You're enabling their toxic behavior. They don't learn the value of hard work, responsibility, or appreciation. They just learn that if they cry loud enough or complain long enough, they'll get what they want. Now, let's look at what the Stoics would recommend. Instead of continuously giving to these people, they would advise setting boundaries. You don't have to be rude or harsh, but you do need to protect your peace. Stoicism teaches us to value our time and energy, and to direct them towards things that will bring us fulfillment, not towards people who simply take. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Don't waste your time on someone who has no respect for it. So, what do you do instead of helping the entitled taker? First, take a step back and observe. Ask yourself, is this person genuinely in need? Or are they simply taking advantage of my generosity? If it's the latter, it's okay to say no. It's okay to put your well-being first. There are countless people out there who truly deserve your help. They may not be as vocal or demanding, but their gratitude and willingness to give back will be worth much more than the entitled person who's only looking to drain you. Remember, helping others should be a choice, not an obligation. Protect your peace and your energy. The Stoics would tell you to focus on living virtuously, and that means choosing who you help wisely. The entitled taker doesn't deserve your time. So, let them learn the hard way, while you focus on cultivating meaningful, reciprocal relationships with those who truly appreciate your efforts. Type 6. The self-destructive. You've probably known someone who just can't seem to get it together. They keep making the same poor decisions over and over again. You try to help them. You offer advice, support, and even your time. But no matter what you do, they just don't seem to change. Instead, they keep spiraling, and it feels like they're pulling you down with them. You begin to wonder, why can't they just help themselves? This is the case with self-destructive people. It's heartbreaking because deep down they may want to get better, but something inside them is holding them back from making lasting change. Whether it's addiction, reckless behavior, or a lack of self-awareness, they just seem to be trapped in a cycle that no one can break, not even you. The Stoic philosophers understood this very well. Marcus Aurelius, in particular, often spoke about how we should not waste our time and energy on things beyond our control. In his Meditations, he wrote, "You cannot save a man who does not want to be saved." And that's the key right here. If someone is constantly making destructive choices and isn't actively trying to change, helping them might not be doing them any good. In fact, it can become harmful both to you and to them. You'll find yourself stuck in a never-ending cycle of offering help that's never accepted. Worse, they may start to depend on your help as a way to avoid taking responsibility for their own actions. Take a moment and think about someone you know who fits this description. Maybe it's a friend who always turns to you when things go wrong, but the minute they're out of trouble, they return to their old habits. Or perhaps it's a family member who makes choices that hurt them, time and time again, and refuses to listen to the advice you give. The more you try to help, the more it feels like you're just enabling their self-destruction. Now, this doesn't mean you stop caring about them or cut them out completely. What the Stoics teach us is to have compassion, but also to know our limits. It's important to set boundaries. You can encourage them, show that you care, but you also need to protect your own peace. And sometimes, the best help you can give is stepping back and letting them face the consequences of their actions. By allowing them to experience the full impact of their choices, you're not abandoning them. Instead, you're giving them a chance to learn and grow. It may not happen immediately, but in the long run, it's far more effective than stepping in every time to save them from themselves. As difficult as it may be to watch someone you care about spiral, the Stoics would remind you that you cannot control their decisions. They are the ones who must choose to change. And until that happens, you must be strong enough to let go. So, the next time you find yourself in a situation where you're dealing with a self-destructive person, ask yourself, am I really helping them by constantly offering support? Or am I just enabling their downward spiral? Remember, helping the wrong person can hurt both you and them. And in the end, true help comes from allowing people to take responsibility for their own lives. Type 7. The fake friend. Have you ever had someone in your life who only seemed to care when they needed something? They show up when it's convenient for them but disappear when you need help. These are the fake friends, the ones who smile in your face, but once you turn your back, they're gone, or worse, they talk behind your back. A fake friend is someone who will take everything you offer without hesitation, but when it's time to return the favor, they're nowhere to be found. They might be charming at first, pretending to be your biggest supporter. But over time, the cracks start to show. They might cancel plans at the last minute or avoid helping when you're in need. The relationship feels one-sided, and you start to wonder, do they really care about me? Or am I just useful to them for their own gain? This type of person might never outright say they're using you. Instead, they'll play the victim, make excuses, or find ways to make you feel guilty for even questioning their loyalty. They want you to believe they are your friend, but their actions don't match their words. It's a classic case of talk is cheap. Think about it. You've probably been there, spending time, energy, or resources on someone, only to realize that you're the only one putting in the effort. They never seem to have time for you when you need them most. But when it's their turn to lean on someone, you're expected to drop everything and be there for them. And you do it. You help. You give. You support. But deep down, you start feeling used. The Stoics taught us to be mindful of who we surround ourselves with. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on the importance of avoiding people who drain your energy. He said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote is especially important when dealing with fake friends. These people can take a lot from you, your time, your trust, and your emotional energy. But the moment you recognize their true nature, you have the power to choose whether you will continue to help them or cut them off. Fake friends can have a way of making you feel guilty for setting boundaries. They might make you think that by refusing to help them, you're being selfish. But in reality, you're protecting your peace and valuing your own well-being. The Stoics were firm believers in not allowing others to disrupt your inner calm. They knew that external influences, especially negative ones like fake friendships, can have a huge impact on how we feel and think. By giving too much to people who don't truly care about us, we open the door to stress, frustration, and emotional exhaustion. The best thing you can do for yourself and for your future is to recognize the signs of a fake friend early. These signs include always being the one who reaches out, always being the one who gives, and always being the one who ends up feeling drained. Fake friends are quick to take, but slow to give back. They want to be in your life when things are good, but when the going gets tough, they vanish like shadows in the night. So, what should you do when you spot a fake friend? The Stoic answer is simple. Let them go. Cut the ties before they cause more damage. Protect your peace and invest your time and energy in relationships that are mutual, balanced, and supportive. True friends are the ones who are there for you when you need them the most, without hesitation, without excuses, and without self-interest. Remember, your energy is valuable. Don't waste it on people who don't genuinely care about you. Be intentional about who you help and who you keep close. A true friend doesn't just show up when it's convenient. They show up when you need them, no questions asked. And that's the kind of friendship you deserve. Type 8. The drama magnet. There are people whose lives seem to be filled with constant chaos. No matter where they go, they somehow end up in the middle of drama. It's as if they attract conflict, trouble, and confusion like magnets. And no matter how much you try to help, you always get pulled into their mess. These are the people whose problems never seem to end. Whether it's with their friends, family, coworkers, or even strangers, they're always at the center of some kind of issue. It's not just that they have bad luck. It's that their actions, or lack thereof, create the drama around them. Maybe it's an argument that never gets resolved, a relationship that always feels on the edge of falling apart, or a workplace conflict that's been going on for months. The truth is, these people are addicted to chaos, and they seem to drag anyone around them into it. You've probably seen it happen. You're having a calm, peaceful day, minding your own business, and then suddenly this person comes to you with a new crisis. It could be something small at first, a little complaint, or a minor disagreement, but before you know it, they've turned it into an emotional roller coaster. They pull you into their world of drama, and now, even though you tried to stay neutral, you're caught up in the whirlwind of their problems. You find yourself giving advice, lending an ear, offering help, but it's never enough. The cycle keeps repeating itself. What makes it worse is that they often seem to thrive on this. They don't seem to learn from their mistakes. They repeat the same patterns over and over again, and no matter how much you try to guide them or offer solutions, they always go back to their old ways. One minute, they might tell you they want peace, but the next minute, they're involved in yet another crisis. It's exhausting. Helping them feels like trying to put out a fire that keeps reigniting. Every time you think it's under control, it flares up again, and you're left wondering if your effort was ever worth it. The Stoics teach us a valuable lesson here. A wise man avoids unnecessary battles. It's not just about avoiding physical conflicts. It's also about avoiding emotional and mental battles. Drama is a trap. The more you get involved, the more you lose your peace of mind. The Stoic approach is clear. Don't waste your time and energy trying to fix something that doesn't want to be fixed. If someone is stuck in the cycle of drama, they are choosing that chaos. And no matter how much you care about them, you cannot change their choices. What you can do is protect your peace and focus on your own growth. You see, the problem with helping a drama magnet is that you might think you're being a good friend, a supportive partner, or a compassionate coworker. But the reality is, by constantly giving your attention, time, and energy to their chaos, you're enabling their behavior. You're reinforcing the idea that their drama is acceptable and that they don't need to change. Stoicism teaches us that our energy should be reserved for things we can control, and most of the time, we can't control other people's choices or their drama. So, how do you handle this? The Stoic solution is simple. Set boundaries. Recognize that you can be empathetic without sacrificing your peace. You don't have to dive into the drama every time. Instead, encourage them to find solutions within themselves. Gently remind them that life doesn't have to be this chaotic, and most importantly, don't let their chaos disrupt your calm. Remember, you don't have to help everyone who asks for it. Sometimes, the best way you can help someone is by showing them the strength of a peaceful life and leading by example. Let them see how choosing calm, choosing peace, choosing not to be swept up in drama can bring far more joy and clarity into your life. So, the next time someone tries to pull you into their drama, remember the Stoic principle. You don't have to fight every battle, especially the ones that aren't yours to fight. Instead, protect your own peace and let the chaos go on without you. Type 9. The backstabber. Have you ever helped someone, given them your time, energy, or resources, only to later find out they've turned against you behind your back? The backstabber is one of the most dangerous people to help, and the Stoics had a lot to say about dealing with these kinds of people. A backstabber is someone who, in the moment, appears friendly, supportive, and kind. They'll smile to your face, offer help, and tell you everything you want to hear. But as soon as you turn your back, They're the first ones to spread rumors, betray your trust, or take advantage of your kindness. They seem to have mastered the art of saying all the right things, but their actions never match their words. One of the most painful parts of dealing with a backstabber is that they disguise their true intentions. They know exactly how to manipulate a situation to get what they want. But when you're no longer of use to them, or when they think they can gain something by turning on you, they'll leave you high and dry without a second thought. They might even use your kindness to further their own goals, and you'll never see it coming. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, warned us to be cautious about who we trust. In his writings, he emphasized the importance of being aware of people's true nature and not getting lost in the illusions they create. Marcus said, "When you have the power to do good, do it. But don't expect to be thanked or appreciated for it. The world will always try to deceive you." The key here is to understand that a backstabber isn't just someone who makes one mistake. They have a pattern. They repeatedly go behind your back, betray your trust, or take advantage of your good nature. Once you see this pattern, it's essential to stop helping them, no matter how convincing their apology or excuse might seem. At first, you might be tempted to give them another chance, believing that people can change. After all, you've been there for them in the past, and you want to believe they'll appreciate you in the end. But this is exactly what the backstabber counts on: your kindness and willingness to forgive. They rely on the fact that you won't recognize their true intentions until it's too late. But the Stoics teach us something vital here. Don't let your emotions cloud your judgment. Once a backstabber has shown their true colors, it's time to cut ties and move on. Helping them any further will only bring more pain, and you'll end up feeling betrayed, confused, and drained. When you encounter a backstabber, it's important to set firm boundaries. Don't engage in their drama, and don't give them access to your life in the way you once did. You don't need to announce to them that you're cutting them off. Sometimes, silence is the most powerful response. Simply walk away from the relationship, knowing that your peace of mind is more important than any fake friendship they might offer. The backstabber is a reminder that not everyone who comes into your life deserves your help. Some people are simply not trustworthy, and the sooner you recognize this, the better. The Stoics understood this, and it's why they urged us to build relationships based on integrity and mutual respect. In the end, your energy is precious, and you don't want to waste it on people who will only bring negativity and betrayal into your life. Remember, helping the wrong person isn't just a waste of time. It can have lasting consequences. The Stoic mindset teaches us that our time, energy, and emotions should be invested in those who value us, not those who take advantage of our kindness. So, the next time you encounter a backstabber, remember, don't waste your help on them. It's time to walk away and protect your peace. Type 10. The emotional leech. Have you ever been around someone who just drains the life out of you? They don't have to say much, but you can feel their negativity sucking the energy from the room. These people are what I like to call emotional leeches. They always seem to be in some sort of emotional crisis, and no matter how much you try to help, it's never enough. It's like you're pouring your heart out, and they just keep asking for more. At first, you might feel like you're being a good friend or a caring person by offering your time and attention. But after a while, you start to notice a pattern. No matter what you do, they never seem to get better. They don't take your advice, they don't make any changes, and they always find something new to complain about. It's as if they're not interested in getting better. They're just looking for someone to feed their emotional needs. This can be incredibly exhausting. You might find yourself feeling mentally and physically drained after talking to them. You've tried your best to be there for them, to listen, and to help them work through their problems, but it doesn't seem to make any difference. They may even make you feel guilty for not being able to help them more, even though you've given all you can. And that's exactly the trap they set. The problem with these emotional leeches is that they don't add anything to your life. They take, and in return, they give nothing. No support, no positivity, no solution. It's a one-way street. And the longer you stay in this kind of relationship, the more it will affect your own mental health. You start to feel like you're walking on eggshells, always trying to keep them happy, always trying to fix things that aren't really in your control. Stoicism teaches us that we should focus on what we can control: our actions, our thoughts, and our emotions. Helping people is a noble thing, but we must also know when to step back. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you're constantly giving to someone who's emotionally draining, you'll soon have nothing left to give. And that's when things start to fall apart. Not just for them, but for you too. So, what should you do about the emotional leech in your life? The first step is to recognize the pattern. If you notice that someone is constantly sucking your energy without ever offering anything in return, it's time to set boundaries. You don't have to cut them off completely, but you need to protect your own well-being. It's okay to say, "I've done all I can for you right now, but I can't continue to carry the weight of your emotions." Another important Stoic lesson is the concept of self-sufficiency. We should not rely on others to fix our problems or provide us with emotional support. Instead, we should learn how to regulate our own emotions and manage our own struggles. If someone else is constantly leaning on you, it can prevent them from developing their own emotional resilience. The Stoics understood that the path to peace and happiness comes from mastering our own emotions and not being overly dependent on others for validation or support. So, while it's okay to help others, you need to know when enough is enough. Remember, you can still be kind and compassionate, but never at the expense of your own mental health. Don't let the emotional leech continue to drain you. Set boundaries, protect your energy, and always prioritize your own well-being. Now that you've learned about the 10 types of people you should stop helping, it's time to take action. If any of these types are draining you, remember your time, energy, and peace are too valuable to waste. Start setting boundaries today and prioritize your well-being. If you've experienced this before, share your story in the comments below. Let's learn from each other and build a stronger, more self-aware community. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more practical Stoic wisdom. You deserve to be surrounded by people who respect and value you. Don't settle for less. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.